Hey, welcome to another episode of Huddle Up with Mark, the Fun Coach. I am Mark Duncan, and today I want to talk about a question that I get asked fairly often, and I just had it asked of me last week. And that is, how do we get the visit? So, and what do I mean by that? So the question usually comes, well, if they don't respond to my initial request, how long should I keep bothering them? How should I go about doing that? And so forth. And this is a very common issue. I know I talk often about what happens when you get the visit and what you should be doing with that donor or prospect when you're meeting with them. But sometimes getting the meeting is the most difficult part. And so today I'm going to talk about how you go about getting those meetings, give you some tips on that, so that you are doing the right things and doing the right things in a way that doesn't uh, push your donor or prospect away. So, how do we get the first visit? The first thing you should do is find a door opener. So, what do I mean by that? Someone that they know, that you know, and that they trust. And then you can reach out to that person. That could be a board member, that could be a mutual acquaintance who you are comfortable calling and asking them to make an introduction. And that introduction could be done in a couple of ways. The easiest is via email, where you ask that person if they're willing to make the introduction, and then you ask them if they are willing to call and let them know that the email is coming, because they don't want to blindside them with the email, but call them and say, hey, I would love to introduce you to the executive director of this organization that I serve on the board of. Would you be willing to have me do an email introduction? Most of the time, the answer is yes. And then they go ahead and do that email introduction, bring you in on the email, and then you take it from there, right? And then you begin the process of securing that meeting. So now, once you've gotten that introduction, you can respond to the email and, of course, move the person who connected you to BCC and say, hey, thank you for your willingness to meet. And then you offer some times that will work and try to schedule it that way. That's really a great way to go, because you already have permission for the introduction and permission to follow up and secure that meeting. So I would take that route first. Another way to get that sort of warm handoff is to ask if that person who knows the other person will be willing to do what I call a tag team coffee. So what do I mean by that? That means that you, the connection or the link, if you will, and that prospect or donor comes together for a coffee. You usually meet for coffee. And the meeting itself isn't so much about fundraising or even so much about the organization. It's about bringing the three of you together so that you can be able to build that connection and get permission at that gathering to follow up, to schedule a time to talk specifically about the organization. So that's two ways to sort of secure a meeting, leveraging relationships that you already have. Okay. Now, what if you don't have that? What if you don't have relationships with people who know a person? But these are prospects or people who are already giving to your organization that you have identified that has link, interest, and ability, right? So the link is they're already giving to your organization. There's some interest there, otherwise they wouldn't be giving. Your job will be to develop that interest. And you've done your research and wealth screening, and you've determined that they have the ability or the capacity to give in a significant way. So those are the folks that you're going to reach out to, that you may not have a connection to make that introduction. But you've got to reach out to them. So what you need to do is pick up the phone and give them a call. And you're going to call them first. Okay. Give them a call first. And the reason I say that is you don't want to come to them directly from email. Email already is impersonal. And so you don't want to start out that way. You want to start with a phone call. Now, 9 times out of 10, if you call them, they're going to see a number they don't recognize and they probably won't answer, right? Today, it's usually cell phone to cell phone, right? If you're calling from your office, you call from your office, perhaps the organization's name will pop up on their cell phone and they'll be more likely to answer. If they don't answer, yes, leave a voicemail. Leave a voicemail so that they can hear your voice, right? So that they can hear that you're reaching out to them to connect with them and perhaps meet with them. So you leave a very warm message. Hi, my name is Mark. I'm calling from ABC organization. Thank you so much for your support. I would love to find time to connect with you in person to tell you more about some of the great things that we're doing. Give me a call back when you have an opportunity, and perhaps we can schedule a time to meet. That's the message. Okay, leave that message. And then you're going to follow up and send an email basically saying the same thing. So phone call, if they don't answer, leave a voicemail, and then immediately following that voicemail, send an email. This way you now have reached out through sort of 3 avenues to connect with them. That's your first attempt. If you don't hear back from them, here's my rule of thumb. And this is really critical. And I call this tactful tenacity, right? So this is the part where it gets frustrating. They didn't call me back. They didn't respond. So when you make that first initial contact, after you've done that, I want you to wait 3 to 4 days, and then I want you to reach back out again. Okay, and you're going to do that for the first couple of weeks, first 2 weeks. When you get to week 3, you're going to continue to reach out, but you're going to back off. And now instead of every 3 to 4 days, you're going to do it every 10 to 15 days, right? So you're spreading out, you're reaching out to them to see if they are available. Once you get to that 3rd week, now you're moving to actually once you get to that 4th week, you continue to do that. You get to the 4th week, now you're moving to once a month, and you're going to continue to reach out to them once a month until you get to 6 months. If you do not hear from them, that's it. It's not going to happen. You've done it in a way that is tenacious and tactful because you're not bombarding them with requests and phone calls and emails and so forth. You're reaching out to them in a time frame that is respectful. So keep that in mind as you are making those calls. It isn't easy, but it's part of the process. Don't give up. Yeah, I'm saying it's going to take you 6 months, perhaps, to get the meeting. And here's what typically happens when they do respond. I want to thank you for being so consistent with reaching out to me. Basically, what they're saying is they appreciate your tenacity. They appreciate the fact that you are reaching out to them without doing so in a way that is a nuisance. And that is what tactful tenacity is all about. So I hope this is helpful to you. It's a very quick tip. I hope this works for you. And at the end of the day, that is what, at the end of the day, this fundraising thing is not about the dollars, it's about what the dollars do for the people that we serve. Now, if you're interested in learning more about this, you might be interested in joining my Relationship Fundraising Academy. And if you are interested in doing so, you can find that on the link below this video. So click on the link. There's a video for you to watch that will tell you all about the Academy and everything that you get from it. All right. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.